Big Boy's
Big
neighborhood.
Boy.
Now this is a beautiful day in the neighborhood,
Yes, it
man.
is.
We got Rapsody in the neighborhood.
Yay.
First off, welcome to the neighborhood.
I'm happy to be here. I said I need some real estate.
You are a hard worker.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Got to.
and you know what I love about your journey is that, and not to take anything away from any way somebody get into business today. You know what I'm saying? But we do see like a lot of what I call microwave, and we see a lot of that. You were in the oven, stove, the slow. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like you took your time really getting here. And when I say took your time, sometimes those are learning experiences, especially when we kind of look in the rearview mirror like, oh, I learned from that. But while we're right there in the present, sometimes it's like, damn, this is a lot. And do I really want this? Did you ever question if you really wanted it? And did it ever get hard for you where you were like, man, I think I'm out?
Yeah, I mean, not to the point. I always knew I really wanted it.
Mm-hmm.
That was evident. I would question myself, like, man, is there even a place for me? Do people want it? Like, what am I fighting for? Nothing? Can I? Because I could go do this every day, like by myself, and just listen to my own music and give it to my friends. But you know, I just knew I had a greater purpose. Like when you put a purpose behind it. And Knife always said, celebrate the small wins. So whenever I would have like those rough days, was just like I'm slightly questioning it. Something would come back to remind me, like, bam, like, nah, like you making headway. You know, it might just be a little bit, but I'm just here to remind you, like, you got to keep going. So, you know, and then I told myself, I was like, what else would I do?
Right.
Like, I could
Have
do
you
this and
ever
fight.
thought about that? Like, what else would I do? Or you don't even like, man, I don't even go safety net.
It'll
like
cross
that.
my mind and nothing comes.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
if
that's
it's-
scary.
If it's not, like, I can't produce, I can't DJ. I've been kicked off those a couple of times.
Go ahead now. Well, at least
So,
you know you can't.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right. I can't
Tried
do
it.
that.
Yeah.
That ain't even my thing. So it's just like, you know, you could get a job that's, you know, gives you a paycheck every week that
Yeah.
you can count on, but you're just not gonna be happy. So, you know, I'd rather have the hard days in this and find some happiness. It might be like 24, 48 hours of unhappiness and being unsure. And after that, we right back to the regular schedule.
Did you grow up around music?
No. I mean, other than like watching videos and
Right.
like cleaning up with my mom on Saturday, she put the radio on. Nobody in my family plays music.
That's
Like,
crazy. What made
yeah.
you fall in love with music? Not just hip hop, but what made you just fall in love where you kind of soak it in first?
Man, I just think it was Michael Jackson first. And I think one, the music that he made and how it told stories and touched people, you know, like heal the world. Like, ooh, I feel that in my soul. Like, it was just something about soul music that really connected with me. I don't know if it was just me and my dad would get up every day and watch videos, Luther Vandross, or my mom would be on Tina Turner and we have family reunion. I'm always the background dancer for talent shows. Like, you know, it was just a part of the community and a part of growing up. All my great memories have music around them. It's the soundtrack. Like, whether we having barbecues and everybody doing the
Sorry about that. Had to hit that.
A moment.
When did you fall in love with hip hop? What was your or what was your introduction to
was
hip
my-
hop?
I don't remember my introduction. Like, I don't remember the first song that I heard that was a rap song, and I'm just like, yo, this was the first
Right,
one.
this pulled me in.
I remember the first song that made me want to be a part of it.
What was
and
that?
was Poor Georgie by MC Light.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she was the first female that I saw at the time that was rapping the way she did.
And
that
her storytelling.
That's what I'm
Storytelling.
Yeah, man.
I was so
said I'm Georgie.
amazed.
Highlight. You know what I'm saying? like man, and that took you all the way from introduction to so-called demise.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And 3 minutes and some change, you
Yo,
got
Georgie had a hard
everything.
time.
Hell
kid.
yeah.
Yo, I was just like, yo, this is like a sad movie.
Yeah. And was it also the message and who was delivering the message? Was it because also it was MC Light?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I just love music. I know I loved hip hop, but when I saw a woman doing it, MC Light, she was so fresh, the way she dressed, her rhymes was hard. Like, when you saw Light, it was like, oh, snap, because she rapped
Yeah,
at
man.
you, like, for real. She was, and it just showed me, like, yo, a woman can do this, I could do that. The confidence, Queen Latifah's UNITY video.
Yeah.
Who you calling a bit? You know what I mean? Like,
UNITY.
that was so fly to me. So it was the women that automatically grabbed me.
It's crazy because as a fan first, they were really giving you, you know, like you was doing tuition into the School of Experience too. They was filling you up. Probably you didn't even know.
I did.
You know what I'm saying? That, and it's crazy because now Rapsody, and I want we want to take our time with it, but there's somebody that's looking at you the way that you were looking at Light.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
The way that you was looking at Latifah. There's somebody that's looking at you that same way. How do you go from loving hip hop to saying I can do hip hop?
Man, it took me a while to say that I can do it. I had to be around the right village to uplift me because of where I was from. I'm from North Carolina.
Yeah,
right? It ain't
and it's
like,
not like you just walk. People just walk right by you.
I don't know. No, we don't know nobody that has a living, and we can. Like, I remember Kendrick talking about he went outside and he could see Pac and Snoop and them doing a video shoot. Like, I didn't experience that. Everything I saw was through TV and radio, so it wasn't real to me that, yo, this is something that you really can do and make a living off of.
And when you say like North Carolina, then when you really go to where you really were at, that's even kind of like smaller though.
Yeah, it's not even like a big city in North Carolina. It's like the backwoods, population 1,600s. Like walk out,
that's everybody in your business. You know
everybody, like you're not getting away with nothing. So I got to college, I got around the right friends, and they showed me like it's just about doing it and believing in yourself and finding confidence. And, once I got into that, it's just like put a purpose behind it. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, man, I got to be the difference. I got to be what MC Light and Lauren were to me for these next little girls. And that's how I fell into it.
Speaking about, there's something about you that I absolutely love that's so refreshing to me, because when it comes to storytelling, when it comes to lyricism, you are to me like the epitome of that. And you were talking about MC Light and you're talking about L Boogie, and that's what you give me. And it's all, not trying to compare you to, but I feel like it's missing, and not just as a woman, but just in rap period, and hip hop period. What was it like though to be able to work with Queen Latifah on this project on Eve?
Oh man, that was a dream come true. Like, she's always been on my list because she influenced me so much. So when we met, first I was like, man, what do I even say to Queen? Like, there's so much you want to say, but she just made it real comfortable, and just to have her a part of the project, she gave me a lot of advice for it too. It just felt like I finally got my big sister in hip hop, along with Rod Digger, who was a big sister. Lady of Rage was a big sister. So it was full circle, and it was dope. They say never meet your heroes, but she didn't let me down. Like,
what was some of the advice that she gave you for this album?
She's the reason I changed the title to Eve.
Why did you name it Eve? Because I feel like a lot of people off the bat think like Eve from
the rapper.
Yeah, the rapper.
I get that a lot.
But why did you name it Eve?
Because she's the mother of all living things, the first female to ever walk the earth, the first female that God created. So I wanted something that told the story. I got all these songs named after, Black women. It's like, what one title speaks to all of that? Like, I couldn't call it, I didn't want to name it after myself. And it's like, I just can't single out one woman because I don't feel nobody is above anyone else. So it's Eve, the mother of all living things.
It's beautiful.
Do you feel like sometimes, how it feel like there's some things that's so simplified? You know what I'm saying? And you've put out a lot of material. And not only have you put out a lot of material, people are really starting to really pay attention as well. Do you ever feel like we missed something, like damn, like I put so much into something, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yes, there's some records we go back, we was like, we should have held that one because we can't put it back out. But I tell myself it's all good because I'm gonna make something way better than that, The
one thing you don't, Rapsody, you don't waste lyrics
at all.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's some people that you would have to go and you continue to rewind. Like, I like challenges. I come from lyrics.
Yes.
So when you could just hear something like, and not given to whatever people take. I come from hip hop where if you had your Melly Mel, if you had your Public Enemy, or if you had, but you still had Joski Love doing Pee Wee Dance. So it was always something. But I always gravitated towards lyrics as well. And we don't get a lot of that, especially in commercial radio.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So when you hear what you go through, like, there's some times when you rewind. And I love listening to albums if somebody give me a full album. Do you continue to challenge yourself?
Yeah, every time. I always say, where can I go next from? How can I grow? Like, I don't want to go in and people know and expect what's coming next. I don't like them to box me in and be like, yo, it's dope, but we can expect this again. It's like, nah, I want to shock you again. It's just like, And it makes me feel good every time I put out a project. People say, yo, she just keep getting better. Like, how?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, I ain't done yet. You know, I like challenges like yourself. Like, how can I push myself to make records, you know, that are different and that, you know, make me try new things and just give something different to the culture.
Have you ever felt stuck? Like writer's block or a moment
Oh,
where
yeah, all the time.
What do you do to get to pull
She
yourself?
called me.
Yes, right. I'm like, big
Yo, babe, help me
boy.
out.
All right, there you go.
Is there a process though for getting out of a writer's block?
I think it's different for everybody. Like for me, after every album I do, I might not write for like 3 or 4 months.
Okay.
Anything. And I was watching a Rakim documentary, and he said when you get writer's block, because I used to stress over writer's block, he was like, it's not even a block. It's because you've said everything that you could possibly say. Now you have to go out in the world and live again and
Right.
get inspired and new information. So when that happens, like I'll go do that. I'll go live. I'll go home to Snow Hill. I'll go watch a movie, and it's always, I just go have a conversation, and it's always something that sparks that idea, and that's how I get out of it.
You know what I love about you as well is that for as crafty as you are, and you don't point out anybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want anybody, you don't expect anyone to be like you, nor do you expect yourself to be like anyone else.
Right.
And we see a lot of people where it's like there's a lot of comparison. It can't, there's also different chairs or different thrones. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Exactly.
And do you feel like sometimes that they do pit females against each other? And of course it happens in a circle too.
Yeah.
But do you feel like sometimes we are always just looking for that one?
Oh, yeah, all the time. It's like nobody can appreciate anybody just doing what's natural for them. Like, it's got to be one. And that's like, every time it's just like, yo, why y'all like this person when Rapsody dresses like this and she acts like a woman? And I'm
Right.
just like, yo, bro, what is that?
Like, don't say that for me.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
don't even put me in that battle, because you can't, in the same way you don't want all women to be this, I don't want all women to be like
Right.
me either. Be yourself, and some days just women have different energies.
Yeah.
Like some days we like this, other days we feeling
So
real
true.
sexy. You know what
Some
I
heels
mean?
on.
So I think in the same way there's room for guys, to coexist and champion each other and compete in a healthy way, there's also room for women too. Like we're not monolith. All of us are different. So, Megan has a story that's authentic to her to tell. Cardi has a story that's authentic to her to tell. I have a story that's true for me. And there's always somebody in this world that's going to relate to one of us. So that's what it's about, telling stories that everybody can relate to. And, pitting one is just like, oh, we only can have one. It's like, if we haven't proven that in the 90s and in the 80s and now, like the time that we're in now, it's just like, yo, we killing it right now.
Was it during the BET Hip Hop Awards that you had that performance that you
I
really
love
highlighted?
that.
That was the best performance of the night.
The roll
thank
call
you.
also.
Yes.
You know,
So
like
good.
I watched that back to back to back. And that's one thing I'll continue to go back to. Even your roll call. You know what I'm saying? And you could tell just the confidence of being seasoned as well. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're gonna get the mic, that you also have a show because you paid a lot of tuition into the School of Experience. You know what I'm saying? You did your outliers, you did your 10,000 hours.
I did,
and
indeed.
it's crazy how we look and think like we know something or we discovered something or we peeped something, and I always say, man, when we talk about overnight success or whatever it is, I'll tell people, I say, well, that was a long ass night. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
If just because somebody get on your radar, we don't know what that person.
It's like what they say. It's
went
like the
through.
iceberg.
Yeah,
You see the top, and it's like 30 feet of ice under the water.
Dive and see if you can tap the bottom.
Yeah,
you
you
know what I'm
gonna
saying? Has it been an uphill battle? And not like woe is me, but you know how sometimes like even just our skin tone, we got to be twice as good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then when you put our skin tone with it and being female, is that
on.
thrice as good now? Or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, do you feel like there's been other challenges that some people don't have? And not woe is me, not pity.
No, yeah. It's definitely those two that you named. Like being a female, for one, you gotta earn the respect in a whole different way because they see women, and some people like, for guys, like I know I'm not gonna be able to relate to anything you talking about. It's just like you ain't even heard what I'm talking about. Yeah. First and foremost, or they put your talent level to a certain ceiling where it's just like, okay, you good for a female, and that's what it is. This is the top 10 for females. So even just to get past that threshold, and then it's the looks. You got to look a certain way, dress a certain way. So I had to deal with that, like, because I didn't come in dressing super sexual and it wasn't the cookie cutter version of what was successful, in mainstream's eyes. Just like, she ain't never gonna make it. You gonna have to show some skin, like, you
Have
gotta
you heard
be sexy.
that?
Oh yeah, from men and women. from both sides of the coin.
What made you not succumb to the pressure? But what made you not listen to that? Like, damn, like, is this what I have to do to make it?
Man, I just knew that there was a different path, and you got to be the difference that you want to see. You know what I mean? And my village, Ninth Wonder, who I'm signed to, has helped me out so much just to stay focused in those hard days. Because I tell myself, like, yo, you got to have confidence in yourself. You can't let anybody else define what beauty is for you. And my nieces, I look at my nieces, and I go take her to get Barbies at one time. She was super young. She never wanted the black one. And it's like representation matters. So I have to be that representation so and have love and self-confidence. So it went past just myself. I knew I was doing it for a greater purpose, for more people, for little girls to find love in themselves. Because if you don't have a strong village and family and friends to give that to you, look outside. And if outside is telling you something that's not real, then you messed up. So the fight was bigger than me, and I had people, though, that kept pushing me from my back and uplifting me and keeping me forward. Like,
how did you go ahead, love?
Sorry, I just wanted to say that example, though, is this album. Like, if you listen to this album from beginning to end, is homage, is praising the black woman, which I feel is knocked down so many times. And I love that you do check people in it. Like, yo, I think it's in Nafini where you're asking, I feel, to the black men, like, how do you feel about your own mother? Like,
exactly.
What I think is so brilliant of you. And because sometimes, like, I have a black friend who is always talking about darker complexion black women, and he's black, and I'm like, your mom is like, what are you talking about? So I think this whole album is a beautiful album from beginning to end. Why was Afeni so important to you?
Oh man, that's one of my favorite Tupac songs, Keep Your Head Up. And I wanted to tell the story of, behind every strong man is a strong woman. And to talk about motherhood. Like, we love Tupac for the revolutionary that he was, the artist that he was, what he spoke up for, how he entertained us too, because he had this beautiful balance about him that made him so special. But he was who he was because of his mother that raised him, and we can't forget that, everything that she gave, being a Black Panther and an activist, and his mother and a strong black woman. So it was my way of showing love to mothers, and not forgetting what they gave, and continuing that conversation. Like, at the height of, I'd say, like, of what Tupac was, and how he could entertain and make us have fun, and he could talk about the streets, but he also came back and showed love to women. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was powerful, and it's just like, we can't forget where we came from and who we are, and at the core of it, what it's about. Like, I be watching like videos, of, it could be like a black woman and she fighting cops, or she fighting a dude, and all these dudes around her. I'm like, yo, what is happening? And it's like, we've lost the message. Like, we got to get back to that. Like, we can have fun, but we also can educate. So that's why it was important for me.
I heard you talk about Ninth Wonder, how did you and Ninth meet? Like, how does that come together first?
I met him through a friend. When I was in college, we started a hip hop organization, right?
Okay.
I wasn't even really rhyming at the time, but I started rhyming through this organization, and we made a mixtape one summer. And one of the guys, Tom Fullery, was doing like an internship, learning how to use Fruity Loops and make beats. So he was like, Ninth, yo, come meet my friends, come to the house. And Ninth pulled up to this house. It was like 20, 30 kids in there. He came, I think, with him and a homeboy, and just sat with us for like 8 hours.
Did you know, like, man, that's Ninth Wonder?
Yeah, I knew. At this time, he had done Threats. He had done the Breakthrough with Mary J. Blige. He'd done the Destiny's Child records. He was little brother. He had Genius. So yeah, I knew who he was. So I was just like, I sat in the back of the room, because at this time he's listened to the first 2 songs I've ever recorded. So I'm just like, yo, this is too much pressure right now. I'm supposed to like work up to this. I just sat in the back because I was just so nervous. I had so much esteem for him, and especially being who he was from North Carolina. We didn't have a lot of artists like that to look up to, that we could touch. So it's like, this man who's 1 degree separated from my favorite rapper, Jay-Z, is sitting right here in his old house with us kids. Like, it was crazy, but it was when, that day is when the gasoline was poured on the fire. Like, I had this light in me. He heard those 2 songs, and he was like, you're a star. Like, he saw it in that way, in the biggest way. Even though it was my dream, he saw it being a possibility before I did.
He's been rooting for you for a very long time, like, going hard. He really is.
That's another thing that I do ask, like, when you would think about, okay, I got product, no, do it like this. Hold on to this.
Yeah.
Don't do this. Don't. You know what I'm saying? Why did you trust him? And it's not about the work that he did with other people.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Why did you trust Ninth Wonder the way that you did?
I went in because when I went in, he never tried to change who I was.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'd be around people before him trying to find management, a label situation, and I might walk in and be like, "Oh yeah, you're pretty. We can dress you up in this." Like when I walked in, it was all about the music, and he asked me first, "What do you want to do? Like, what's your vision for yourself?" And that's what it was about. He was just honest and authentic, and he never tried to change me. So I knew, like, from there on, he was a good person. Like, he had a good heart. He loved the culture, and he just wanted to help.
He
like,
been in the trenches with you too.
The trenches, and he didn't have to.
Yeah.
And he never ever made me sign a contract to this day. Like no contract. It's all just love, and it's just my word is bond. Like, and it's been that, like, when we were broke, buying us food, like giving us gas money, when he didn't have to do any of that, creating a whole label, you know, and a house for us to record in, a studio where he never charged any of us studio time. It was just like, come create, you know, because I believe in y'all and I want to help manifest your dreams. Like, that's why I trust
And
him.
he also, you know, he's another one that could work with anybody. You know what I'm saying? He got a lot of picking and choosing. And then he could have did something so-called easier.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And he chose not to do something that felt easier.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
If it didn't feel good to him, he didn't do it. He didn't care who it was, what it was attached to. I've seen him turn down money. I've seen him turn down some of the biggest artists, you know, and it's just like, that necessarily doesn't fit me or my brand. It's not necessarily what I want to do. And you got to respect that. Like, that's a different type of human being.
Yeah. And go ahead, love.
Sorry, what does it feel like after being nominated and then not receiving those Grammys? Does it add more pressure to create music, or does it, you know, even make you angry to come back and be like, yo, I want this even more? Or does it make you like, man, F the Grammys?
Nah, that first time for Layla's Wisdom when I got nominated, I didn't even see it coming. You know, we came in at like 197 on Billboard.
Best rap
you know,
album.
right.
On my books.
I didn't have crazy exposure. I didn't have a platinum plaque. So I wasn't even expecting it. Because, you know how those award shows go. So when I got it, it was just like, yo, it gave me more confidence and confirmation that you don't have to change nothing. Like, you're getting recognized just for putting out dope music.
Who you are.
You know, up in the category with a Jay-Z and a Kendrick Lamar and a Tyler, the Creator. Like, continue doing what you're doing. So that made it no pressure. It stung a little bit more this year than it did.
Yeah.
You know, then it's just like, oh.
Okay.
And I had to check myself. I was like, remember why you got into it. You didn't get into it for awards.
Right.
Not to say that you don't want them and it doesn't feel good to be acknowledged. But if it doesn't come, it's cool because you do it for the people. Like, your purpose is better. So, you know, it's never fuck the Grammys for me.
Right.
Because me, I bleep that out. But yeah, I was like, nah, because at the same time, I see them trying to get it right, and I have to give them time to get it right. You know, and that's the good thing. Like, I recognize them trying, and you know, it's dope music that's picked, and it's a process. So that's just what it is.
When you see the category and you do see like Jay-Z and you do see Kendrick, you know what I'm saying? And there's a relationship as well.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And you do root for the homies, but at some point you gotta be like, damn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
straight up.
Yeah, because and I mean, it's friendly competition, and it's also like damn, I'm in this category, and you earned being in that category.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And not that there's a different hustle, because I think you would recognize with the Grammys because the work that you did. So if you start to try to write towards the Grammys, I don't think that it'll be Rhapsody.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I missed now if I just fine tune it this way, like, nah, like, I think that the journey that you on is pretty much damn amazing though.
Thank you so much.
When you get to Jay-Z and Jay-Z as an influence, you know what I'm saying? And you got to think, like, in the game, Jay-Z is like, come on. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's in our headphones. But when I heard this.
Oh, you went back over, yes.
Yeah. I wanna meet Jay and just play a rhyme for him. I see him spitting Heineken like girl rhyme again, saying you're inspiring. The blue ivy in them, take it back like hockey jersey, Guess jeans and butter Timbs. Yeah. Jehovah's Witness, I never had a Christmas, never really.
Hey man, just those lyrics right there, like from that one song. Also, people can get so much of who you are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But when you say I want to meet Jay-Z, when you say I want to meet him, and then you meet him,
Right.
how crazy is that? And not only do you meet him, but first you meet Jay-Z. What was that like?
Man, the very first time, that's funny. I call that record Destiny. The very first time I wasn't prepared to meet Jay-Z because it was just out of the blue. We were going to a party and there was always this rumor if you see two Maybachs anywhere, Jay-Z there.
Ooh.
But it didn't even dawn on me walking to the party and it's like a black Maybach and I think it was purple or something. I'm just like, yo, it's a Maybach. I ain't never seen one. But we walking in. And we go in one side to the elevator and you come off another. So we walking in and the way we walk in and the way we come out, we get out of order. So the doors open and Knife is 6'4", right? So he's tall and all I see is his hands. Like, man, what's up? It's good. Like, what you doing here? And I don't know who he talking to. I'm just chilling. And Knife reaches behind him. He's like, yo, you got to meet my artist. Yo, she's one of your biggest fans. And I still like, who is this guy talking to? Because it could be anybody. And instead of me, he grabs Rory, one of our homeboys. And when he slides, I see it's Jay-Z, and my eyes just water up. That's the only time I've ever almost cried. I'd say I've done it again. But it just hit me like, yo, that's how much this guy has influenced me. But it just caught me off guard because I, again, come from Snow Hill, North Carolina, and I never been around. Everything just seems unreal to me. So to see like, yo, that's Jay-Z. And it was just like, yo, that's crazy. But after that, I saw him a few times, and it took me like 3-4 times to meet him before we got asked to come in for a Rock Nation meeting. But it was just always showing love and support. We never had a real long conversation. It was always in passing, but he was always dope and supportive. He always put his hand on my shoulder, like, keep doing what you're doing. Like when I did the Complexion verse, the Jigaboo line, he had did the B-sides concert for the first time. And it's the first time he's ever recited my lyrics. He came back to the back and he was like, ooh, like when you get the Puff Daddy or the Jay-Z, ooh, it's just like, yo, I done made it now.
That's when you do your speech. So I want to thank
you. This is my Grammy right here.
Yeah.
So that I had been waiting on that for years. I was like, finally, like he heard me. So, you know, that was dope. Like when you meet your heroes and they give you the acknowledgement.
And then now just being even closer to him. It's one to kind of get a head nod, a handshake, or you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But now when you say like, nah, that's a business partner now.
Yeah, that's a business partner. Like, you know, if I ever have a question, you know, I just shoot him an email. He always hits me back. And it could be 3-4 paragraphs of advice and just perspective. And, you know, that's priceless knowledge.
He probably see your email coming like, damn.
On again.
Hold on, Beyonce. Rapsody, she done sent me
Emailing me again.
Yeah, she done sent me 5 paragraphs.
Gave her my email. Why give her my email?
Yeah, you know what I didn't think when I said email me, she was going to email me.
You email straight up, bro.
Yeah, like don't give it to me. Don't give it to me. What keeps you going?
What keeps me going? Just the love.
We haven't even seen the best yet, huh?
No, I hope not.
Nah, you know?
Like I say, I'm always trying to get better, and I always see room where I can improve more. So, you know, I just want to keep making the best music. You know what I mean? That speaks for people, and that's classic, and that people be listening to 50 years from now. I have visions, but we gonna see. But I also, you know, I feel like I'm just a creative all around. I want to do music. I want to get into, you know, film and producing and telling stories. I want to write books. You know, I want to have a creative agency. I love marketing and coming up with ideas. So I'm trying to tap into all of that. But just something. I just want to give to the culture always.
How do you feel about the culture and the state of hip hop?
I think it's beautiful.
Okay, that's
and exciting
beautiful.
because I don't look at it just from a mainstream radio and TV. Like Knife always told me, you can't take hip hop culture and put it into a box of TV and radio. So the way I look at it, it's beautiful. I think it's the most healthy it's ever been. Like man,
Really?
woman, yeah. Like if you think about it, the West Coast is killing right now, but everybody's killing. Like you got Dave East in the East, you got Chance in Chicago, Big Crit, JID, J. Cole, North Carolina, and the Baby's doing his thing. Baby's killing right now. You got TDE over here. You know, the West Coast, Nipsey has been making music forever. Rest in peace. Like just everything that's coming out is so creative and different, and everybody's comfortable in their lane. And we talk about females, like look at the movement that's going there. Myself, Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, Tokyo Jets, Il Camille. Like, I think it's just so diverse and healthy if you look at it from a cultural aspect. You know, now mainstream radio and TV, like, we got some ways to go still. Like, for real. But just the culture of it and where we are artistically, I think is dope.
Is there anything you would like to see?
On mainstream or
just all the way around?
All the way around. Just people continue to be themselves and not following trends. You know what I'm saying? Like,
how do we not follow these trends when, you know, like, I remember I'm cut from a cloth of, I used to go and just dig. Sometimes I would buy records just by the title. I used to love to feel vinyl on my fingers and just flipping through.
Digging through the crates.
Yeah, man. And hearing something for the first time and listening to lyrics and hoping that somebody had a third verse. You know what I'm saying? Yes. And then now you fast forward to social media and the way things are presented. And I felt like, and it is today, but I felt like there's a texture that's missing there. You know what I'm saying? And social media is very crucial to what, but when we say trendsetters, that now sometimes you'll see something you feel like, oh, that's what you got to be now.
Right.
That's the dance you got to do.
Right.
That's the look that you got to have. That's where you got to wear your pants. That's where your belt got to be to the side. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So how do you go through and not get caught up in that clutter?
I think one for me is just like following trends. I'm gonna be following them forever. I can't do what you did better than what you did. I can only be the best version of myself. And I come from a time where I looked at the people and it was whack to be like anybody. Like, if you was biting somebody's style, they come beat you up. Like, and me, I don't want to sound like anybody. So
nor do you want to get beat up.
Right, man. I don't want no smoke, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm chilling. I'm peace. But you know, I think also, where was I going with this?
Being yourself.
You want to be an individual.
Yeah, but you know, just not following trends. And shoot, I done forgot my whole situation. But what I was saying is how to not follow trends. Fear. You can't let fear lead you, and I think that's the biggest thing. People are so fearful of being different and not accepting and thinking it's not gonna work. Like, nah, just create and be yourself and believe in it. Because you know we've come accustomed to, I want to be famous and I want to be this, and that defines success. That doesn't define success. If that's what you want to do, then what it is doing what you love and being paid for it every day. And success may look different from other people. So I think it's just not succumbing to fear and just walking out in faith and believing yourself, you know, and telling your story authentically. You know, that's what I think. Like, just
why do you think
texture.
You have a responsibility though? You know what I'm saying? Like, like to teach, to empower, and not that you have to, but you take that on. You know what I'm saying? When sometimes it's so much easier. Like, I'll see people and I'm like, man, I wish I had a little bit of that in me. Like, a little bit of that, I don't give a fuck. I wish I had a little bit of that, I don't care what your feelings are. I don't care about uplifting you. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's so easy. And not that you put it on yourself, but why is it important for you to carry a heavier load?
Because I understand the power of this microphone. And with great reward comes great responsibility. So, you know, I could come out here and it's just like, I don't care, I'm going to just do it. And then you got to think about who's on the other end of that, receiving that. I don't care. You know, I was talking about this the other day, and not to even judge anybody, but we think about Juice WRLD and what even got him on that path. I think he did an interview. He was in middle school. He was a big Future fan, right? And, you know, we know Future and the lean and all of that. And, you know, that might be true to his story, but that's why I was like, that's where balance comes in. Like, fine if you're going to make that music, but also don't be afraid to get on the mic and say, like, yo, I do this, but there's consequences to this. If you do it, you know, at least give it that balance so your fans know. I think that's what's important, you know, because it's just not about you at that point. When you're on this microphone and you have that influence, you affecting people, like, that's a God-given gift, so you got to be responsible with it. And that's what it means, like, not to take anything away from somebody, but also just to give it balance and understand, like, what comes with that. It's a heavy load to carry. That's why the reward is so great. And that's what it is for me. Like, I can't be out here and just ignorantly making just music just because it's like whatever I want to say, and then knowing it's affecting somehow somebody living and thinking about themselves.
What did you and I know that you really take your time with your fan base. You know what I'm saying? And I know that you get people that come up, they got to come up and say a certain song affected them, or I was on the brink of, or this got me through. You know what I'm saying? Are those extremely rewarding for you, Rapsody?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
Those are the things that keep me going. Like when I have those hard days, just like, man, this fight is so hard. Do I even want to continue to do it? It's always those moments. Whether it's somebody like, yo, I listened to your song and it helped save my marriage. Or, yo, I play this song and it made me go hug my mama. You know, I listened to a Feeny and just show like, yo, I need to show you love more. Or I go to Africa and I meet this 4-year-old little girl and she's like, I want to be like you when I grow up. It's those moments that it's like, yo, this is what it's about. Like any fight, any hardship that you have, like you got to understand, like these people are worth it. Like you touching people's lives. So it just gives purpose to waking up every day. You know what I mean?
What do you do to just relax?
Oh, movies. I love movies. I love a good spades game.
Really though?
Yeah. I was talking to the homie Shakim at Flavor You the other day. Like we supposed to get it in, like have a little challenge.
Do you get a chance to kind of relax like that?
It comes in spurts.
Because right now, as we're doing this interview, you got luggage on the other side of the door.
Big luggage.
I got body bags.
Yeah. Traveling.
I know. It comes in waves. Like since Eve has come out, like when I get home, a lot of times I don't even turn the TV on. I just sit there in silence. Like I love music so much, but sometimes I just sit in the car in silence.
Because it gotta always feel, Rapsody, that you either at a station, in a studio, on a set, on a stage. You know what I'm saying? Like
somewhere doing something.
And what about social media? How do you tune that out? Because one, you could use it as a tool, but also, man, social media. I mean, people are extremely evil too.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you, if you've seen something, how does that not mess up your day? Everybody has an opinion.
Everybody. That's the social media gives everybody a microphone that doesn't need it. Man, for me personally, I had to see like Facebook. I don't dig that energy. Twitter was cool, but that's where I was getting the most like negativity. And I had to tell myself, like, don't focus. Like, it could be 100 good comments and it'll be one bad comment and you'll put all your focus into that. So I had to tell myself, post what you got to post and get off. Ain't no need for you to be up there fishing through it. Like, make your little tweet, get somebody to tweet for you. But right now, I still run my own socials and get off. Like, don't fall into that wormhole. So it's being strong enough to
How do you build that muscle?
Build a muscle of getting off.
Yeah,
and being unaddicted.
And let it not affect you.
Oh, man.
Because it's got to be a lot first. You know, I don't know if you look at one and done like, yeah, F this. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, it take time to like, oh.
Yeah, and I go dig. I be like, word. And for me, it's crazy. I may be wired different. Sometimes I do it because it drives me. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I'm so competitive. I'm like, that's what you want? Like, let me show you then. Like, it could be different ways, but I think what it takes is self-awareness and learning.
Right.
Like, you got to ask yourself, it ain't really about me at all. It's about you. So what insecurity that you have that triggered you to even say that about me, a person you don't even know? And I think it's perspective. Once you look at it in that way, like, why are people so negative? Why are you taking the time to come at me and say, you don't even know me? And I ain't even really done nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I be chilling. They some people that really call for that, but I don't be calling for it. You know what I mean? So it
be strong, be positive. Like, man, F strong, F positive.
Like, what? Your boring self. They be like, oh, okay, that's what you smoke. And I gotta be like, oh, you unhappy. And you just deflecting that on me. So once you get that in your head, it'll be like, all right,
it ain't nothing.
It's cool. And a lot of times I found like people will talk real smack to you, and it'll be every now and again I'll be like, it's all good. You don't have to like this. Much love, and they'll come back like they just want you to talk to them.
Yeah, man, that's what we're talking about today.
So
I don't think you're gonna answer me.
Yeah, I'm just y'all so weird.
Yeah.
So weird, man. Bunch of weirdos.
And I remember, dude, when it was just, if it was a source, you wanted your mics. If somebody was a critic, they wrote that. Now everybody has a voice, and they think that because you're in this business, this is what you signed up for.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you were the clerk, like, people wouldn't go at you like, oh, you motherfucking clerk, look at your shoes when you step out. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Because what comes with the job? They think that this is what comes with it. Like,
Exactly.
nah.
Oh, you want to be out here and famous, and we're allowed to pick your life apart and everything you do. Like, why do you feel like that? You know, and it just shows like why we put certain people on pedestals. Like at the end of the day, I do music. You might have a teacher; she teaches children. I'm not any more important than she is, you know. But we put these famous people on these pedestals, and it's just like, oh, they gods, and like let me show you still human.
Yeah.
I never said I wasn't. You
Right.
thought I'm a god.
Let me
Like,
go
that's
ahead and
your
knock you
problem.
down
know
real
what
quick.
I'm saying? Like, it's just, I think it's crazy. It's nice psychology study.
Do you cook?
I used to. Ever since I got in music, though, that's out the door.
No, you just
like I
cooking up
could-
music.
Bars.
Straight
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Serve these
I cook,
bars
real
real quick.
quick. Straight. I cook like twice a year, honestly.
What you
And
make?
when I cook twice a year, I don't like to do stuff that I already can do. So I'll go find like a recipe online. I'm just like, I ain't never tried this. Let me
Ooh.
cook this.
Do anybody eat it?
Yeah,
Oh,
it be
okay,
banging
okay.
too. It be banging. I surprised myself. I'm like, let me see how good I am. Let me cook something that I don't even eat, so I can't even taste it. So I have my seafood. I don't
Right.
eat seafood,
Yeah.
right?
Y'all
I made
eat
like
it.
I made some shrimp scampi, and my roommate was like, "This banging." I was like, "I'm nice."
Why you don't eat seafood?
I don't like the taste of it.
Really? Nothing like no
Nothing.
fish?
And I try it once a year, every year, to see if my taste buds change.
And that shrimp and everything, like all.
None of that. I don't do
Oysters,
none of that.
no.
Nothing.
Fish.
But you're not allergic to nothing, right?
Nah.
Ah, damn. I wish you were, because we would have offered you something. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'll be out there taking pictures with you. Like, look at her. Having an allergic reaction.
Looking like what's
I
living
want to do a cook-off, a shrimp scampi
Straight
cook-off
up.
with you.
Yo, let's
Because
do
I
it.
make a mean shrimp scampi. It's like one of my top dishes.
But she don't even taste her shrimp
You-
scampi.
but she
We-
says she makes it though.
I don't even know if I want to taste something from a chef that don't taste her food.
But she,
telling
according to
you,
her,
bro.
it's good, and her friends
Come
say it's
on,
fire
you-
too.
Of course, the
so.
homie gonna say that. She paying the rent.
Idea's gonna lie. She's gonna taste both and be like, "No, mine's still good."
Mine's still good. I don't need to
He's
lie.
like, "I can't taste it."
Then I gonna be like, well, you taste mine.
Knife one signed off on it too.
Really though?
And he love food, so if it's whack, he'll tell me for sure. He'd be like, nah.
Oh, really though?
I would love
Have
to.
you made him something that where ninth is like, oh, this ain't it.
Nah.
Oh,
I
man,
told
he
you
don't
I
wanna
only
hurt
cook
your heart
twice
on
a
that.
year
That's
now.
it.
I cook twice a year.
He don't want to hurt your heart on it. You know what I'm saying? Because he know if he tell you how bad your cooking is, it's gonna shut you down in the studio one
You
night. And plus,
crazy.
you bring the food to the studio, so you be like, hey, taste this. And then he gonna shoot you right
I'm the
down.
dessert queen, though. I will say that.
really, though?
I am the dessert queen.
Bynum?
I mean,
Well, yeah.
You
yeah.
want some
What you said,
bacon
buying
dessert?
them?
Buy him?
Well, yeah. Like,
Nah, bro, I be
Baking 'em.
whipping. Come on.
she like, I could buy
Come
a
on,
mean
don't-
dessert.
Two hands
Neighborhood,
with.
neighborhood. Don't do me like that.
She like, what you
Come on,
like? I like
neighborhood.
strawberry shortcake. I can buy that. She be like, put strawberry shortcake on my rider. I'll bring him back some strawberry shortcake. What
Take it
is
out
on your rider? You know, how artists get like
They
these
got wild
riders.
riders. My joint is bad, easy, yo.
Really
Like,
though?
Yeah, I ain't got
And a
nothing-
rider is kind of, for those that don't know, it's kind of like, you know,
a
what you
request
want.
or
Yeah, you request what you want for you.
want.
You know, there's a sound rider, but like in your green room rider, your dressing
Yo,
room rider.
I'm telling you, my joint's so plain and boring. All I got up there is like fruit, preferably like give me just watermelon and mangoes. And I'll get like juices for people in my crew. 'Cause
Damn.
nobody really drinks, so I don't put liquor
I
up
heard
there. I'll get some boneless chicken, but I don't eat chicken no more.
Damn.
You don't eat
Yeah,
nothing.
so it's
What
water.
you eat? Air?
I get essential water and watermelon. Give me that, and I'm good.
That's
And-
it.
But that's only because I don't eat before shows.
Really?
Yeah, I don't
Why?
eat before shows because one, I don't like to feel heavy.
Right.
Two, I don't want to get gas.
Yeah, I heard that.
I've
And plus,
eaten
you really up there bussing too.
Straight up.
It's not like they just press play on something. You like,
No, like I get this ill long ride scheme and I get a burp bubble.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I just
Those
be
are the
like,
worst.
bro.
then you got to tell everybody that was chicken. That's why I don't eat it anymore.
Straight up.
Should've
I
had
don't
it.
do that. You don't want to eat, and then your stomach don't agree with what you
The
eat.
bubble
and then-
guts,
Yeah,
huh?
you don't want the bubble guts.
There's nothing outrageous on your rider, Rhapsody.
Nah, not yet.
That's
Well, we need to put it on there.
let us help you fix it.
Because
Yeah.
I've seen
We're
some
gonna put,
riders.
like-
I'm like, man, you want a mink coat?
Straight up.
Like, you're
yeah.
like, yeah.
Brand new
I
meat
remember I
coat.
walked into Mariah's room one time, right?
What?
She had, it was like white couches,
Yeah.
humidifiers.
It's everything
It
white.
was like white curtains.
Candles. You gotta have
White
temperature set
roses.
at like
Dude,
78.
yeah, I came in,
Yeah.
I was like, man, I better not touch anything.
And
That's what you
always
need to do.
doesn't she always like the lambs too, like lamb stuffed animals or something like
Oh, I thought
that?
you were talking about condoms.
No.
I don't know.
Lambs can
Mary
no.
Lou-
I didn't see none of that because we walked into her dressing room.
Where at?
Oh,
And
that's right.
for one of our shows.
We did not do
and
her
I
right.
Didn't, I didn't. Yeah, they probably didn't follow her rider because I see none white. I see no white candles. I
What-
see no
what-
white
did we
lambs.
do a one and done
It
it
show
was
with her?
it was at the iHeart Festival.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a different kind of rule compared to her tours.
And maybe she pulled back, but I've seen her quite a few times.
She was so nice too. I will say.
Oh yeah,
that.
yeah.
I was so excited.
This is the queen getting what she wants.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to tell
deserves
people
it.
how you want to be treated.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? If somebody put now laters and bubblicious in your trailer, and you tell them, hey man, I don't want this.
Straight up.
You know what I'm saying? So just start getting crazy stuff though.
Hell yeah.
Baking
You know what I'm saying?
equipment.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like
mix.
I
Give me that mixer.
I walked into Snoop's, right? And Snoop, he gets like a game console. It's like a game console that they bring, and because he loved the game. I mean, you gotta look through all the smoke to see it, and they set up a DJ console for him and everything, man.
Yo,
So
that's fire.
yeah,
Get
so
that, 4K TV screen.
get that.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a table and some cards for spades.
Get
You know what I'm
that.
saying? Right on, right on.
Get gold cards.
Right.
Just gold cards.
Telling you want gold cards.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Personalized.
Yeah.
I need a masseuse.
No.
Hey,
Get
see,
that
now
in
you're
there.
talking.
See, now you
Okay,
just
look
we
at y'all.
gonna write it up. Telling you need a size 13
Yeah.
Jordan.
Let me give you some.
Wait, a size 13 Jordan
Yeah.
for who?
Hey man, Rhapsody got some big ass feet.
She
it's for
does.
me.
No, she doesn't.
Okay, the Jordans aren't for me.
All right,
You know
all
what I'm
right.
saying? Who does your hair?
Who does Terrence Martin?
Yes. He doesn't do your hair, does he?
No,
I was
he
about to say,
doesn't.
I'm talking
He
on there like-
doesn't. Just not to even put his significant other to him, but his significant other, Brittany, does my braids.
Did she just do
Braid
that before you
artistry.
came in here?
We did it on Sunday. It feel like she
Hell
did
yeah, you
Yes.
did that.
It's still
Like,
here,
help me.
boy. I still that still hurt when I lift them eyebrows. Yeah. She keep,
So where
I
do
only get it braided on the West Coast.
Really, though?
I will fly out here just to get her
Get
to
it
braid
braided
my
on the
hair.
front porch. Yeah.
I love the beads.
In Long Beach.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying?
So much dropping. LBC.
Hello. Where do you like to go? Is there any places when you see it on either your tour schedule or any place that you like to vacation? Any place you like to go? Like, man, I can't wait to
vacation?
get there.
I haven't taken a real vacation yet.
Damn.
What?
No, not a real
Put that on your
vacation.
rider.
It's
No, there's
time.
cities I like to come to and chill. DC is one of my favorite places to chill. I like coming
Why?
out
Do
here
you
to
go by and
LA.
throw something at the White House? She rolled
No,
by like,
I'm still on the Obama White House with the parties and all that.
Man.
That's the DC I love. But nah,
Don't we
I wanna go to the Maldives.
Yeah.
That's on my list. Where I wanna go to
need to-
Greece.
You got a lot of work.
You need to get a beach vacation in.
Yeah. After this tour, I'm Rock Nation. My marketing rep Bianca's had blacked out days, and they're like, "No, you have to take a vacation."
Please do.
Like Sherry, the president, she was like, "No, rap,
And even when
have
you
to."
go and you tour, do you try to tour places where you want to go, like anything overseas? Like, yeah, book me
Man,
over
I've
there.
been trying to book South Africa and African tour for like 2 years.
Really though?
Yeah.
You haven't
yeah.
been to South Africa yet?
Twice.
You been?
Twice. That's
Okay.
one of
Did you
my
go to
biggest fan
Afrochella?
bases.
That's
not
dope.
yet.
Because
It
you
looks so
said when you
dope.
said you met the little girl
Yeah.
in Africa, 4 years of age, that was you really meet.
Yeah.
Wow.
In this small township called Soweto.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like it's like maybe 30 minutes outside of Johannesburg.
Mm-hmm.
I went out there and it's very humble living.
Yeah.
Very humble and
Even some of the restaurants, you'll walk in and be like somebody's crib in Soweto for real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
we,
for
we
real,
pulled
for
up
real.
and ate some lamb at the crib, and
Yeah.
they got some of the best food out there. Like they food ain't on no drugs.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
Drug free. So
You probably will eat fish out there.
Yeah.
Like,
I went
real fish.
to an African braai, which is like an African barbecue. That was dope, and that was a dope cultural experience that I got to be a part of at a braai. Like us, we got to have our own plates. They bring out their food. They might have potatoes in one big plate, chicken in one big plate, and everybody eats from the same plate with their hands.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like mashed potatoes, you grabbing them, and I'm just like, yo, this is like really
Different
community type.
experience.
Yeah, I got to get used to it because I ain't.
Yeah.
Right.
Where your
But
man's been.
It was.
At first, you
dope.
was a little bit like,
You're
oh,
like,
okay.
this
All right.
is
Yeah.
mine right here.
Yeah.
Don't cross my
Yeah.
potatoes.
But
This is my
nah, it was-
area.
Is it
So
does it
dope.
trip you out sometimes, Rhapsody? How when people say, "Oh, music is universal," does it really trip you out that your music really goes across the world?
Yes,
That's
is
crazy,
amazing.
huh?
I went to Japan one time and they don't even speak. English is not the first language,
Mhm.
of course. So we had shows. They don't speak English, but they rocking out. I'm just like, it is really a universal language of a feeling that it's just
Mhm.
a vibe. I'm just like, yo, this is crazy. In Africa, Australia, like, yo, when you coming down here, like, that is amazing that I come from this small town of 1,600 people and somebody 16 hours across the ocean is resonating with the stories that I tell. Like, that's amazing.
Do you ever get on stage or look through the curtain and get that feeling of like, damn, like, look at this?
All the time.
Or knowing that somebody either purchased a ticket and they knew, like, tomorrow I'm going, and they got dressed, and you know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy.
That's crazy. Like, I had one lady, she sent me an Instagram video. For Christmas, she got her 2 little girls. They look like they're around 9 years old and maybe 5 years old. Tickets to my concert, and their reaction was like, "Oh my God, we're going!" I'm just like, "Yo, that's nuts." And then some days I'm like, "Man, I hope people show up, because if I go and ain't nobody out there, that's gonna hurt."
Right.
Every time I go, it'll be like packed. I'm just like, "Yo, this is crazy." I can't even imagine like going from that, because I'm happy with that, and walking into a stadium, like. To get to that point,
and you know that it's coming.
Oh yeah. That's a reoccurring dream that I've always had for like 10 years.
And you got to think. I know you get those days where you look back, and when you saw that there was gaps in the crowd.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
I've done
and
shows.
Small,
literally 10 people, if that.
Damn.
I've done those shows. Like, that was back in 2011. It's just like, I ain't never gonna make it.
Right? Yeah.
But you gotta rock like it's a stadium. Nonetheless, like, you gotta win every fan by fan. That's how, for my journey anyway, it was always fan by fan.
What's the family like?
My family?
Yeah.
Oh man, I come from a huge family. My mom is like 1 of 13. My dad's 1 of 9, so I got a lot of cousins. But everybody's cool. Like, my family, they're a bunch of jokesters.
Do you try not to get shows at home? You know,
At one time, I had shows I wouldn't tell nobody.
Yeah,
That's what
like,
it was.
man,
Like,
they need
the entire family would take
need
up the whole show.
140
Like,
tickets.
exactly, because you know your family, they always gonna keep it all the way 100 and funky with you. So I was like, I ain't even ready for their honesty yet about how they feel, because those are the ones that stayed the worst.
For real.
It's
and
like,
then the ones that came straight from church too. You know, we heard you cursing.
yo, my dad be like, the N-word, oh my God, he eats me up. I walk in the house and he'll just look at me.
He's like, did you have to use it?
He's like, I thought you said you was going to stop using that word. I was like,
Pops, that's old material. No,
I was like, but I didn't use it as much as I'm
tapering off.
There. Yeah. One day.
Can you play your music? You can play your music for your family. The only thing is probably probably some tone, or because it can't be just all They can't be tripping off of content. They probably tripping off of delivery. But
they trip off them cuss words. But they love the music.
They
like,
must be so
my mom
proud.
is always, she sends me texts every day. Like, she is my biggest fan. You know, she'll find something. She's like, you do this and you did it so well, but you should go try to do this. And one day, my dad was watching a video, and he was a show I did, and he was like, yo, you ought to, get some short shorts and some fishnets. And I was like, Daddy, what are you talking about?
You trying to turn me into?
Like, no, that's what you got to do for the show. And I'm just like, I do not want the parental advice.
Man,
Fishnets and short shorts.
You should prank Pops and shoot him a video where you wearing that. You know what I'm saying?
Like, this what you wanted?
Yeah.
You asked for it.
Throw your leg up. Dad, you were right. It's so much easier when I do it like this. You know what I mean? He was like, no, baby, go back.
I was so thrown off.
Do your sister call you Marcy?
Oh, my brother-in-law.
Hey, dude, because
Yeah,
that
so
one
she
where
does
you
that.
say, my sister calls me Marcy, this is a Marcy project.
Yep. My brother-in-law started calling me that, so she picked it up.
It's a Marcy project. Like,
yeah.
And those are the kind of things I wonder if they get past people.
That's what I like. Like, it's always levels where on a layman term, you'll get the easy one, but if you into lyrics, you can be able to go deeper. So it's like you get to kill a couple birds with one stone. Like, Knife calls it being simple complexity.
I told him that years ago.
Oh,
he
He
said that
took it
to
from
you?
Big.
Yeah, he ain't even cite you.
Wow.
He ain't credit you.
You know how ninth is sometimes. He looking like, man, I don't know you, man.
So why does this man keep acting like he's my friend?
Why does dude act like he know me? You know what I'm saying?
We talked about Ninth. We talked about Jay-Z, but let's talk about J. Cole. Let's talk about Kendrick Lamar.
Oh, yeah,
How
the
has it
homie.
been to collaborate with both of them, and and having J. Cole on Eve?
Yeah. Oh man, I've been trying to work with J. Cole for a minute. Always respected and loved him. His star rose so much faster, when I was really just even getting started and learning that science of rhyme. But him being from North Carolina and being one of those, like, 'cause we don't have a whole lot of North Carolina rappers that really, broke through. And he was one of those ones. So I always had respect for him. And every time I heard his music, it felt like home. So I've been trying to work with him forever. But me and Kendrick, we kind of grew together.
Yeah.
I mean, he skyrocketed, of course, way faster. But I remember in 2009, like, you know, he had the Kendrick Lamar EP and Overly Dedicated out. And, you know, him coming to the studio and we just going to get milkshakes and cookout trays and just kicking it. Like, you know, we got to watch each other grow and support. So our relationship is a little bit different and closer than me and Cole's. But, you know, I just always look at him as a homie, but you always proud because he's never changed who he was. I mean, you know him since he was forever. So that boy is A1 since day one. His word has always been bond. He's always been like one of my biggest supporters. Like anytime I hit him for advice, he always gives it. You know, we don't text all the time, but sometimes we'll text and just laugh about stuff that's happening in the culture and in the world. So he's just cool, and he's one of the people like that when he puts out music, I can't wait for, because as an artist, I want something that's going to inspire me and make me like, dang, I want to hear something that's going to make me, whatever I'm working on, throw it away and start over. I want you to help push me to be better. You know what I'm saying? He's one of the people that does that. That's healthy competition. Like, that's how I look at Kendrick.
Did he hit you up for this upcoming album that he has? Are you going to be featured in it?
Nah, I can give you that one. I ain't on this.
Yeah, she was like, I ain't gonna even try to play.
Like,
I
ain't even gonna play. I'm like, maybe. I can't say. Nah, I'm gonna just be real. I ain't the one this time.
Did Shaggy have to audition for Eve like Rihanna wanted him to audition for her album?
You said who?
Did Shaggy have to audition for your album like Rihanna wanted him to?
Riri said she didn't pass him up.
Yeah.
That was just like lies.
I was like, wow. Shaggy was like, I ain't auditioning for that.
Are you on Riri's album?
Nah, I ain't on that one either. I ain't even gonna hold.
What about Rapsody's album? You on Rapsody's album?
Yeah, I'm all over that joint. I'm on the first joint and the last joint, everything in between.
No
she called you.
You know what I'm saying?
Put me
pulled
on.
up for her, you know.
Yeah.
I'm Rapsody's ghostwriter.
Yeah, that's what the homies do. You know what I'm saying? But thank you for coming into the neighborhood.
Thank you.
Give
Go
one
ahead,
more. Sorry.
Please do.
What are you most excited for this upcoming tour?
This upcoming tour, oh man, this upcoming tour.
And what's the title of the upcoming tour?
I'm sorry, the upcoming tour is called Black Woman Created This.
Yes.
I love
You know
it.
what I'm
Black
saying?
Woman Created This tour. We go out February 4th. We end on March 18th, I think. I don't even know, but we doing 28 cities, U.S. and Canada. Man, just performing Eve live. That's the biggest thing. It's the newest record. I went out with Big Crit last year, and I only got to do part of it. I got 30 minutes. But now, like, I get to give people the whole
Full
experience
set.
and the whole story and, you know, do it. I wish I could take the band out with me, but, you know, it's still going to be live. And I got Heather Victoria, who's coming with me, who's my label mate, and we're going to announce another opener. But just, you know, seeing how it affects people, especially women.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what's this gonna feel like on the road? So that's what I'm excited about.
excited for you.
Yeah.
What advice would you give your younger self?
Man, I think to not overthink it and that you are enough as you are. Even in the beginning stage, I spent too much time like trying to figure out where I fit in and, you know, trying to figure out like what is your aesthetic and your look and based on what's popular. Like I did a little bit of that, and it's like, nah, just do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying?
ahead.
Like, nah, this is what I want to do. So not spending so much time trying to figure that out, just doing what I want to do. Nothing else I would change.
I appreciate you for coming into the
Thank you,
neighborhood.
man. I love y'all.
Man, we love
I get
you.
a key. I get a key.
Of course you do,
Give her-
man.
give her the key,
You don't
yeah.
even need a key, man. The door ain't
Here's
open.
the
The door's
key.
off the hinges for
Here you
you.
go.
You know what I'm
Just for
saying?
you.
Yeah.
Put your picture on it too.
Hey, man, she gonna look at that picture. She gonna like, I don't look like this man.
Stop it. Stop
What do you
it.
mean?
That's me.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's not her.
This is I'm gonna come. I ain't even come to the route. Just with the snack room.
It's a good one.
Yeah, the snack room in my office, to tell you the truth. You know
That's
what
what
I'm
the real
saying?
snack room is
Yeah,
at.
if you want really just protein, I guess.
Or you want some dry cereal? We got some dry cereal.
Man,
Yeah,
y'all,
we need to work. We need to work
snack
on.
room look like my rider.
Yeah, I was gonna say we need to work
We
on
all
our
need to
right
level
here.
up.
Hell yeah! All right, well, thank you for coming.
Thank
in today.
you.
I want to tell you
Much.
something real quick. I was about to say some crazy shit, but what's going? You know what I'm saying? I'm about to say some fucked up shit right now.
Don't do
I
it.
had a joke, but I was like, man,
Oh, no.
pump your brakes, big boy. What you doing over there?
I want to know what the
pictures of
joke
my notes.
was.
No, you don't.
I don't want to.
Yeah,
All right, I'm
nah.
gonna hold up. I'm gonna
Hell
hold
yeah.
up.
But no, thank you for coming into the neighborhood.
Thank you so
Thank you for
much.
hanging out with us. And
Appreciate
and I know that your show in LA, my dates say March 3rd.
March 3rd.
Yeah.
If you get a chance, creep back into the neighborhood. I know you're gonna be
Oh,
moving.
I-
That's my
ripping
birthday.
and running.
No, I want
March
every-
3rd is
every-
my birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta do something special.
Special shout out.
Oh,
I'm
easy
joking.
money.
Don't do that. Now you're
Babe.
gonna have to.
It's my birthday.
I know it is your birthday.
You gonna come sing it for?
I will.
Oh,
Hey, dude, I
yes.
get on stage. Your audience will really be like, dude, please, we stop down the show for this. You know what I'm saying? Stop this. I could have heard this nonsense in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Then, ladies and gentlemen, I date.
What? Is that what? Can you get her off her?
Yeah, like, man.
Interrupted.
And then the critics would be like, man, like she did a solid show until Big Boy and I Day came out. And then they left and the energy went back up. You know, just for the sake of your show, making sure that you kill LA when you come out here, I'll pull back.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But I do love watching shows from the audience.
That's
yeah. I
Jay
love
Electronica
watching
loves
shows
that
from the
too.
audience, man. Like I gotta be in the audience. And make sure you come back and you say hello to us.
I want to. Every
All
time
right.
I'm in LA, I want to pop up.
Alrighty. Well, don't do it like that though.
You know
what I'm saying? Yeah, don't just pop up on us.
I can't.
Yeah, no.
Heads up.
Is that what she got
I
from
mean,
that?
no, I can't. I'd be like, yo, I'm in town. Let me,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
this ain't like back in the day. You can't.
What if you would have came back in the day?
Yeah.
You know, it ain't me, it's the building.
I'm going to call before I come. I can't even do that.
No, listen,
All right, he told me on March 3rd. He's like, you got a key, but it ain't all access.
Yeah, I'll see you around the 3rd. You know what I'm saying? I'll see you around the 3rd. I don't want to waste your time. You know what I'm saying? No, Rapsody, thank you for coming into the neighborhood, baby girl.
Thank you, man.
And please, I don't even have to tell you, continue to do what you're doing.
Yes,
you know
sir.
what I'm saying? The world is watching.
You're a queen.
People are watching, and please continue to be that example.
I will.
You know what I'm
Thank
saying?
you.
We got so many different things out there, man, and I love when we have something that we could gravitate towards as well. So
Lyrical beast.
stay that.
I got you. I'm going to hold it down.
There it is. Rapsody in the neighborhood, Big Boy
Big
neighborhood.
boy.